all this stuff, like really kind of inspired me to make more. That one video. Yeah. Like I was like, okay, like, this, I can do some cool stuff. Maybe people want to see the weird stuff I think about in the shop, because that's what I do. I'm an applications guy. Like, I want to push these machines to do as many cool things that isn't just engraving or laser cutting. Like, what else can these things do? Because I do really think that they're awesome machines.
All right.
Hey guys, what's up, and welcome to the Laser Source Podcast, the #1 podcast if you want to grow or scale your laser business. Especially today, I have a very special guest all the way from Georgia, Micheal Mullins, the owner of Laser Engraving 911 and Sonoma Laser Engraving, the place where I learned to laser. That's the man before the man, guys. If you think that I have just always known everything that there is to know about lasers, you've lost your mind, because there was definitely a period where I knew nothing, and this man knows me during that period. So you guys are getting like a really interesting look today. As always, Kyle, Jimmy, post neck surgery. How you feeling, Jimmy?
Okay.
Okay. I'll take it.
Oxycodone.
You've looked better, but you just work it, dude. You look great. Strike a pose. Yeah. And Matt's here. What's up, Matt?
Doing all right, man. I just got the new UV that's sitting next to me instead of my usual 3D printer, so
I love it, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. Really, I've told this story before on the show, but like I give people the quick once over. Feel free to correct me if you remember things differently, Micheal. But basically, Micheal had a vape shop, and he was selling vapes, and he's like, you know what people would love? If people had their vapes engraved. People would love that. And then, so Micheal bought, what was it, like $30K?
Yeah.
LMT? Yeah, $30,000. $30,000. It was 20 watt
IPG laser source.
Holy shit.
From Germany, from a company called LMT in Michigan. And they dope, smart dudes, very expensive machines, very, very expensive machines. So we got this laser, and we found out very, very rapidly nobody wanted their vapes engraved. That was just not a thing. It just wasn't a thing. And it's bizarre because they're like anodized aluminum. Yeah. Giant blank pieces of anodized aluminum, just primed and ready for customizing.
An artboard ready to go.
They just don't. Yeah. They just didn't give a shit. Nobody cared. So then
they do now. They do now. I bet you they would now.
I don't know, dude. It's
talk
tough
to my
call.
students.
Yeah. But Micheal had this $30,000 machine and nothing to do with it. So he kind of plucked me out of the vape business, and we went to go figure out lasers. Is that more or less how kind of things went down?
That's it, dude. When you drop that kind of dough on something and you realize that you just made a tactical error, you either gotta fold in a corner like Jim Carrey in the shower, or you got to get up and figure out, okay, well, I got this machine. It's really cool. It can do some cool stuff. What else can I do with this? Let's figure it out, Alex. Let's go figure out what if we can make money with this machine. And
and it was we kind of started in a weird spot too, because I think we found out pretty quickly that most people don't start with fiber lasers. In fact, when we started, most people didn't have or know what they even were.
Fiber laser?
What's it was very weird. This was years and years ago now. We're coming up on a decade, dude. That's nuts.
Yeah. People are like, so you guys do embroidery here? Is that what's going on?
Right. So then we had to figure out, like, well, everybody else in the world is doing CO2 stuff, and we can't do any of that, Right. So we had to figure that out. I think you started with the AP, right?
The AP laser.
The old AP that lasted.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Not long.
3 months, maybe. Dude, I don't know about you, but the thing that killed me about the AP laser was that fucking platform that just moved around all loosey-goosey under because
so many mistakes made early on.
In theory, like that, it's cool if you want to do like giant stuff, and I don't think we really appreciated the loosey-goosey bed, but at the time, it was not what we needed, like at all.
No.
It was not what we needed. So Micheal does what he always does, and he's just like, give me the most expensive one. He's like, give me the best one right now. It's just like, I don't want any more problems.
Job? Do you remember it was that one final straw, that big piece of redwood?
The big piece of redwood.
Someone had brought me that was like ripped from an ancient house owned by their grandmother, and it could never be replaced. And something happened in the middle on the AP laser where the tracking got off, and I came in like 20 minutes later, and it was all like digitized and all stretched out to the left. And
it was that fucking bed, dude, because the bed, unlike every other CO2 on the planet, the bed is on rollers, so you can roll it out from underneath the machine.
Yeah.
And the fucking like wheel locks were loose or something, and it had just shifted, it moved. It's horrible.
Dude, my stomach just went like this hearing you say that shit. Like,
so what you do is you take it to somebody.
We had to plane it down, do it over.
Plane it down. Yeah.
See, I would have just flipped it over. What happened? Nothing.
At least you saved it. At least you saved
Adam
it.
Sandler style, cover it with a piece of newspaper.
Did we end up planing that down, or did we just say take it back? I don't even remember.
I had a guy that was making the picture frames. Remember him?
Yep.
He planed it down for us, and we redid it and just crossed our fingers because I couldn't swap out the AP. Basically, they were pretty cool about it. They were cool about it. Like, I told them what happened. I told them all the problems we were having.
Yeah.
They said, well, if you crate it up, we'll give you a part, I think it was like 65% of what I paid for it back. It was an amount.
It was a loss.
It was a loss.
You ate it. Yeah.
I didn't get a full refund for sure.
Yeah.
And that's
I remember standing out there crating that thing up in the rain. You had the forklift out, and we had the little tent.
Forklift.
The tent was blowing away. We had like one of those like pop-up tents, and it's like blowing away, and you're trying to do shit in the forklift. That was a good time. So anyway, Micheal did what he always did, and he was just like, give me the most expensive thing that exists. So he's on the phone with Epilogue, and that was when you got the Fusion.
Yeah,
the Fusion M2.
And that's when you and I realized what we had, what we got rid of, and what is out there. Like, we had no idea the speed, the capability, the build quality. We just didn't know.
Yeah,
we didn't know. It's our second CO2 laser. Yeah. And so once you have one of those, it's really hard to look.
Go someplace else.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I'm not bashing. There's some great stuff out there.
No, yeah.
Once you have it, it's really hard to look at anything else.
What I usually tell people too, and this really applies to you, is that the smaller or less quality machines are better for people that don't really have the budget. And if that's your only option, that's your only option. But if you have a business and you're generating revenue and you need something to just work, and that was you, man. That was you. Yeah. You needed something to just work. That's Epilogue, man.
I had business, and I knew that, and it's not like I came up with all that dough up front. I put some money down on it. I paid it off. It took me, about 5 years?
About 5 years, yeah.
About 5 years, to pay it off. And so, I took a chance, but I had business. I knew that it would pay for itself. Yeah. And once you and I got it, we really knew. Once we saw what it could do, we were like, oh yeah, this thing is definitely paying for itself.
Yeah, totally.
No problem.
And you're still rocking the Fusion, right? You still got that in there?
I still have it, man. It has not let me down. I had a couple of little tiny $14 parts I had to replace. The laser tube, it's the metal laser tube. It's still kicking. I had a guy check it just a month ago to see it's just right below like 120. Nice. It actually almost blew out his sensor.
Oh, good.
So I bought an Edge recently.
Yeah.
And why the tech was here, as Epilogue does, they come to your shop and they give you a tutorial. He's like, hey, you want me to check your Fusion? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, run it, do it, align it, do it, check the wattage. And he checked it all. Cool. It almost blew out his sensor. So he's like, yeah, you're good.
That's sick. And how do you like, so when we were at the APA trade show in Vegas, we saw the Edge on display, and we did like a little teaser reel of it. Yours has like the camera in it and everything with like the top down. Yeah. What do you think of it? Do you like it?
Bro, you thought the Fusion was fast? I have never seen anything this fast in my entire. I don't know what they did to the servos, the stepper motors, but when that thing is doing a job, my whole table looks like it's about to shake apart. I mean, like you have to put it, if you put it up high, that head moves so fast, it's just a blur. It's just a blur. Like it's insane.
Yeah.
Like
you heard
I
of drugs, Micheal?
Like a run of like 200 cups. And the edge is outperforming the fusion, like left and right. It's just killing cups left and right. And the fusion's kind of like, oh, sorry, bro. I've been working over here. You know, had me for 7 years. You know, so it's a pretty cool unit.
That's sick, dude, and it's cool because it's actually like in I think a lot more people's budgets than something like the Fusion. Too. I mean, what do those edges run? They're like 10,
I think it was like 26 15? With the rotary.
Oh, you got it kind of you got like the top tier, of course.
Yeah,
like kitted out, rotary? Right?
60 watt rotary, you know, and that was it. 60 watt and rotary. I mean, it was like 26 or something like that.
Yeah. Sick.
With taxes and all that stuff.
It beats the 40 of the Fusion.
Oh, dude, yeah, and the reason I got it was to obviously I bought myself an employee is what I did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's you can get an employee or you can buy yourself a robot employee.
Yeah,
right. I was dying doing these large volume orders. I was just dying. You know, I was getting lots of business and I had to have an employee. So, you know, running 2 machines. Anyways, yeah. And the other reason is I've actually done a couple of mobile events recently.
Oh shit.
I took the Edge Mobile. I took it to a school campus. And
wow, somebody was just talking about that.
That was boys.
I took it, and I did Emory College in Georgia, and I took the Edge with me, and I engraved Alex. I kept thinking of you when I was out there because this is some kind of crazy crap that I would have dragged Alex into.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, man, get a truck.
I got myself into a tent with the Edge outside. This is all outside, man. Little tiny fume extractor, you know, just to have some air. And my job was to engrave the name and date, graduation date of any student that walked up with a glass Coke bottle.
What?
On a Coca-Cola bottle, because Coca-Cola is the theme.
You're right, Georgia, yeah.
So even at each Coke bottle taking a minute and 2 seconds, that's how fast it was able to put their name. Not very big. Right, I was blown. Like the line was, I had to have like people start pushing the people back.
Right,
from the booth.
See, that's a cool feeling. They
didn't have to pay to get it done. It was free to the students.
Right.
So
but you were keeping tally, right?
I was. I was like really quick. I was like, dude. I had my father-in-law with me, giving me a hand taking orders on the order sheets.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I'm doing the math here, and we're only scheduled for this amount of time, and we're only going to be able to do this amount of bottles in the next 3 hours. Period. Yeah. We need to shut it down.
Yeah.
But it worked great. You know, that was my first time doing mobile, and then they called me back a month later to do it all over again.
Nice. And you were giving the kids like business cards, right? I hope.
Oh, I had QR codes out on the table. I had, you know, my shirts on. I was doing some advertising, but
nice.
That was wild. That was my first mobile event just recently. And I have to say, if you're not comfortable working in front of hundreds and hundreds of people watching, you know, if you're not really comfortable with running your machines and setting stuff up real quick, changing names on the fly, like literally light speed.
Yeah.
Don't try that.
Yeah. I remember when we were, I mean, even just like the gun show at the Cow Palace.
Oh yeah.
That was hyper stressful, and that wasn't nearly the same kind of volume. Of course, it wasn't nearly as repeatable. It's kind of a different situation, but still, you know, it's just like sitting back there and you're like, oh my God, this is $700 over and over and over again. You know,
we were working on high-end stuff. We were working on $700 firearms, $1,200, you know, $300. We were working on some expensive stuff.
The butthole that never unclenched the entire time that we were there.
But we did it, and we didn't screw it. We didn't screw anybody's stuff up.
Yeah, that's right. And we had the benefit of the pull and drape system too, so we got to hide a little bit. Yeah. We got to hide a little bit more. Yeah,
I was about to say,
how many people are out there?
Because that's the kind of minute where someone asks you a question.
People are out there a lot, dude. Just keep going. Don't look.
Yeah. Gun shows are a great way to get out and do something too if you haven't done anything yet. I remember, dude, when we first opened Monroe Laser Engraving, and I don't think I've told you this story, one of the local gun shops was there, and they had this weird little fiber laser in like a little cube. It's like a cheesy little nothing machine. They had the sucker open, engraving a aluminum plate facing the crowd, just out, just sitting out.
Yep.
Little
there.
kids are just like,
dude, it was the most insane thing that I've ever seen. And I was like, nope. And I turned around, I walked out and was like, I'm not.
I've seen the same thing twice since, just like you. Because I've done a few shows, not where I'm engraving at the show. I just set up a table and talk about my services and show some of my work.
Samples. Yeah.
Same thing is happening here in Georgia. Right at the edge of the table, right for everyone to see, and just, wave
Puff.
everything, no goggles.
Waft in the fumes.
Yeah, no
stare at the
goggles,
laser.
no nothing.
I hope they're doing like polyethylene or something really friendly like that.
Yeah.
So-
just a little PVC, a little chlorine for the crowd, right?
Yeah.
Take you back to Nam a little bit with that chlorine gas.
So are you still all epilogue at this point, like CO2 wise? All epilogue?
Yeah, I have 2 epilogues, and that's it. And I still have the LMT, the IPG, and it's the only thing I've ever had to replace is the scan head, and that was last year.
Nice.
That was it. Like it finally crapped out. I think it was when you left the lens cover on the one time. When you
Right,
shot.
the one time. Yeah. we all do that here. That's part of like the learning curve at Laser Everything is to leave your lens cap on one of the first times that you start marking with it. Have you added any Galvo lasers to your lineup yet?
I have added one, and that was a backup. I have a 30-watt Mopop.
Oh, nice.
And I just keep that off, and the only time I turn it on is when I get those, 200, 300, 400 piece orders.
Yeah.
Where they're I'm literally look like a DJ. I'm like, just going back and forth. I don't do any color stuff with it. I don't do any of that. I got it because they're just so cheap now,
Yeah.
And I said, if this LMT ever like really dives on me and I'm in the middle of work, like I have to have something to switch over to, just to get the job done. And that's so it kind of just sits there like next to the big boy, just kind of like, hey, I'm here, put me in, coach, whenever you need me.
The water boy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Kyle and I both have lines now. They're just in a row. They're just like a giant strip. Dude, you gotta get on the UV train. That's what you need
tell
to
me
do.
about, I know you guys are talking all about that, and I don't know a lot about that, and I have lots of questions, and I'm super fascinated by it.
It's just so usually CO2 and fiber are both infrared, right? So they're wider than the visible light spectrum.
Got it.
UV is ultraviolet, so it's narrower than the visible spectrum, and that higher energy beam allows you to do more on more fragile materials or materials that visible and infrared light would normally pass through.
Right.
The UV is absorbed. And that means that you can mark things like you know how we're like, ooh, maybe if we turn the frequency up and like change the speed, we might be able to get like this mark on the plastic if we hit it 8 times.
Right.
You know what I mean? Kyle and I literally like take like cell phones and AirPods and shit, and you just throw it in the UV and pick some settings. It's like, and then it's just done.
Wow.
It just works. And the beautiful thing about the UV is not really great for engraving, but it can mark fucking everything, dude.
Wow.
Everything. Glass, acrylic, wood, leather, every kind of metal. You get like really nice like Z-mark kind of like heat anneals on every kind of metal, brass, aluminum, copper.
Okay.
It does not matter. You can put anything under that machine and it will mark it. That's the beauty of UV is that you just don't need to worry about the material. Essentially, UV is also what they use to mark PVC pipes. When they have the laser strip.
Yeah, they have it on a head on a track as it's rolling through. It just hits it while it's going through.
That's all UV. So because it's not going to ablate the PVC, right? So it's safe. And every other heat laser, because IRs are just heat lasers, they're melting that PVC, and that's what you can't be doing. The UV doesn't do that. So remember all the work we did with Razist trying to get the stupid sandblast?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This ablates glass. Like it ablates it. Like
that's what I wanted to ask you. Is it actually removing material?
Dude, yes, wow. You can drill hole. The very first day, Kyle remembers the very first day that we had the UV, I drilled a hole in a piece of glass and I stuck a pencil through it on camera.
Is it fusing it? Is it fusing the
I'm doing it right now for you.
How does it feel?
It's back it up. It's sandblasted glass, right, guys?
Yeah. Okay. Great.
I don't know how else to.
Yeah.
Laser knife. Yeah.
Perfect.
It's like super. Yeah. So literally like super smooth.
Nice and frosty.
Yeah, and so this is not you can get it super frosty, but this is like, I can't get in with I don't have a fancy camera like Alex does, but the detail on this is super small.
I bet, I can tell.
And I mean, like,
be able to do that with a CO2.
If you've ever done it with the epilogue, like if you tried to run your fingers across it like this, you'd be like, fuck shard.
Yeah.
Every now. This is, I mean, you saw me pull it off the laser, and it's done.
And it's because there are no shards because we're not fracturing the glass.
Yeah. You're removing dust. Material.
It's literally like silica dust is what comes off of that. Yeah. And if Matt keeps running that job, just keeps doing passes, he will laser 911 straight through the glass.
Let's see what happens.
There's nothing left.
I saw a funny picture of a guy who had screwed up on a really thin wine glass. They were like Rydell's, like the thinnest of the thin.
Yeah.
He was like, it was just this picture of him, and the words were literally cut through it, and he was all, "Oops." And I saw that, and I was like, okay, so it is removing material. That's super cool.
It's ablating it, and it does it. It's just the nicest thing, and it can do clear acrylics. You can get just perfect frosted whites on so clear acrylics. And then
I was messing with bamboo last night too, and the detail you can get, like the amount of actual like lines per inch and dots per inch you can get, is insane.
It is, it is insane.
What's really exciting for me is I bought this with the hope. I don't know, is the fan too loud? By the way, you guys?
No, you're good. Man, you're good.
Okay.
You're good.
So the reason I bought it is like I literally told my my principal, I'm like, hey, I can make Christmas gifts cheap. Like if you want to let me make them for like $5 or $6 a piece, for 200 people, we have like 180 staff and everything. So I was like, I can make them for like $5 or $6 a piece, and he was like, all right, cool. When you get this in, make me a sample. So pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And you just bought some glass blanks,
Yeah, so I got them landed probably a quarter of the price, but it's one of those things where you could easily sell these for like 10 or 15 bucks a piece with like a My First Home, or like, so this is one of those things you could make a posting or a sale post, and it just really makes some good money for individual pieces, but bulk to be able to knock out a couple of hundred pieces. And I've already got talking to a realtor about it too. So basically where it's like, hey, then all I have to do is just put, welcome home or our first Christmas or something like that, 2022, and then toss their logo on it. Done.
Yeah.
And then repeatability. I mean, you saw how fast this goes. Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah. So it's wicked fast, dude.
I have a question, teacher.
The hand was enough, sir. I don't need to. No, just kidding. Yes, shut the fuck up. All right, what do you got?
Okay, so the only rotaries I've seen for these UV lasers are the Chuck style, or using the cool software that stretches does the calculations and stretches.
Right. Project Mark.
Right.
Okay. If we were not doing something, this is my question because I'm a business guy.
Yeah, okay? Go for it.
So if we were doing a non-round logo on a rocks glass, something a cylinder, and it didn't have a lot of detail, and the CO2 or the epilogue can totally engrave this image without, because it doesn't have that much detail.
Right.
If we set those side by side, and I had 200 rocks glasses to put this logo on, and then you have the UV laser here with a jig or the rotary or however you think is set up, do you think it would be equivalent but just get a different kind of mark, or do you think one would be faster?
Oh, okay. So, well, it depends. You're asking two questions, so I'll give you two answers. So the first question is, would they be equivalent as far as marking? No, this is going to be it.
100%.
So this is So just literally having done glass a handful of orders myself, I mean, I've only done maybe like a couple hundred glasses, but I can already tell this is way fucking better. It's amazing. But The other thing is, as far as speed, when you think about post-processing, think about cleanup that you have to do, like for glass sometimes, because if you're, like, I use the Blaze tape, the Blaze Orange is what I used to use for when I would do it, and so you'd have to apply, and it's self-sticking, but still you apply, pop it on, zap, zap, still rip it off if you have to wedge out anything. So to me, as far as speed goes, and also as far as marking goes, this wins. I will say, if you're going to do project mark, and Alex and Kyle and everybody else talked about it one of the nights I wasn't here, the 10 watts definitely the way to go, because the depth of field you need to
laser kind of off a bigger lens.
And like literally, I've got a 110 in this right now, and Kyle was like, "Yeah, you probably have like a 1.5 millimeter worth of focal depth that you'll be good at," and we found out that's not right. It's actually like less than 1 millimeter.
It's like 1.5 millimeters on my 150 or on a 110.
Yeah, so then we did some math on it, and it was like, oh, that's actually way less. So I'll tell you, that's the thing though. So, but if you've got it dialed in, I would say this by a mile, because by the time you've done this, and by the way, even if you have a rotary, I actually talked to Jason from, oh my gosh, Brain Rotoboss, the other day, and I was talking about it. Yeah, I literally said, hey man, I want to buy one of your low profile, the low rollers, because it's made just for that. And so the fact that, I mean, I've already got, and I've got the thing that Kyle got. So basically I'm going to try this thing first. Don't ask what it does. And then, yeah, I know. Yeah, the way he's holding it's so progressive.
The Chuck style rotary. Oh, I got backwards. The Chuck style rotary sits on this side, and this is a spring load thing. You can stick a flat plate on this side, and you can stick a cone on the Chuck.
Yeah,
and basically it's a spring loaded quick release, so you can fly through cups.
Okay. So, and that's my thing. So for glass, you put a little silicone or something on there, like something like a, to brace it, I think it'd be good. But I'll tell you, the low roller is what I already told Jason. I'm probably going to end up buying for this, because then, I mean, think about the rocks glass, how fast it's going up and down, and it's just going to, and most people, what do you have on there? Like a 2-inch marking space, maybe 2.25 on a highball?
Yeah, it's about 2 by 2. Right. That's right.
Yeah. So, I mean, that'd be fast as hell. So that'd be my suggestion. If it was going to be me and I was going to mark with this 5 watt, I would definitely buy. And I mean, it doesn't have to be Rotoboss, but that's the company I've always had, so I like him, and he's always super responsive. So
Kyle and I are having good success projecting with 5 watts, though. We're also
it's doable.
We're not experts at this yet, but it's definitely doable. Kyle's got the 150 millimeter lens.
I have the 150 lens. I want to try 200.
I have the 175.
The 150 is doable.
The 175 gets me wrapped around. I was doing these tight little perfume bottles, just like that. Nice. And you can.
That's really nice.
This is wider than a standard glass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
this is like a little candy dish or dessert dish or whatever.
See, I got a 110 and a 200, so I'm kind of excited. I got the 110 really just for those Christmas ornaments.
But Matt is absolutely right, dude. Like, if you get a UV laser, you're going to find out very quickly that, if you're used to like, oh, I can roll it up and roll it down a little bit and play with like a live focus on the fiber, and there's like some different stuff going on, and there's like an area where you're not on the UV, dude. It's like it's doing it or it's not.
It's like an on and off switch.
The line is very sharp. It's very, very sharp. And some of the bigger lenses, it's better, but it's tough, dude. So it takes some getting used to.
So I don't know if you can see this or not, but like literally right here, you see that? That was because I just so this is a nice clean mark, right? This guy here.
Yep.
Then this guy, I just was making it small to try to make the marks more of them fit in one space. Yeah. That little tiny mark was my knee tapped the table, and this wasn't super level, and it just kind of jiggled a tiny bit, and that was all it took, and it was dead.
And it was out.
So basically, you've got to make sure. I mean, that's where like if you got a jig, just what he said, keep it spot on.
We also,
but this is also like my third time. Like I literally got this out of the crate today at 6:30, put it together by 7:30, and Kyle and I were on the computer, and I was talking to Jason trying to get the bait and everything.
Yeah, we kind of breezed over it too, man. But because it is 355 nanometers, that really short wavelength means that your dot size can be way smaller than fiber, CO2 by 1 billion miles, and diode even at 455. Those are the blue light little desktop lasers. So at 355, you get the smallest dot size from UV lasers, and it's unreal. Like, I can't even tell you. They're like pixel densities you would find on like a fucking HD TV.
Wow.
It's ridiculous. So that's
cool.
That's a really nice bonus of these machines for sure. So definitely check it out, dude. Definitely check it out.
I'm gonna dive more into some of your videos on the UV stuff. It's always fascinated me. I mean, I've been watching it. You and I have known about it. You know, I mean, when we were back in California, we had, I think at one point we were like, "Hey, what's this? You look at this."
They were also a lot more expensive. The prices are just finally starting to come down.
Yeah,
I mean,
they were really expensive.
What was yours and Kyle's, guys? You guys have the same one. How much are those? 7,100.
Retail on it or the list price on mine was like 7,100.
Yeah, and then the Mactron behind me is like 10. So they're not. It's not. You know. It's not a fiber.
What is it? Is it just the fact that they're new? What is it that's making it so expensive?
So here's the
much less
thing.
Demand.
Well, there's less demand, first of all. So they're not produced as much. But there's also a lot of really specialized, super expensive components inside UV lasers. So basically, my understanding of it is it's basically a fiber laser, right? And then the fiber laser beam is passed through these special crystal filters. And every time that the beam passes through the crystal filter, it halves the wavelength. And it halves it until you get down to 355. And then you've got your 355 nanometer beam. And something about that process makes them specifically more expensive.
For now.
Yeah, for now, until it's democratized and it's $100 on Amazon.
5 years from now, they'll be at Target in the toy section. Here you go.
You said when that the IPG craps out, when the IPG craps out, you need something new. Right, there you go.
Yeah. The IPG is so far, it's been very good to me. Like most of the machines in my shop.
Yep. Definitely. And so I don't, we're like halfway through the show right now, and I want to talk about your channel because we've only really been talking about work, but you have a YouTube channel too. And
I do.
The way we were talking about this just a little bit before the show, but when Michael and I made a very strong team when we worked together because Michael is very much the application of the thing. He gets stuff done. He can plan. He can see into the future and fucking like make business decisions. And if you need like to build a machine, like Michael's the guy to like actually do it with his hands and like build the machine. I'm very like theoretical, like understanding why things work and like how pieces connect together and stuff like that. So that's a lot of what you guys see from me over here on Laser Everything. We talk about why stuff works. We get very technical in like, how to configure lasers and how to set timings and why certain beams do some things and not others. But we don't really talk a lot about taking that knowledge and then applying it to business. Like where do we build the techniques that are going to make the money? That is what Michael does. That's Michael's whole thing. It's always been his whole thing. He's very, very fucking good at it, like scary good at it. So go ahead, tell us a little bit about your channel.
Yeah, so I mean, I think, we both kind of started our channels at the same time during when we were all on lockdown and like, dude, like what, I was like, what, I just moved here. I'm starting my business. I need to, I'm going to try this thing, this YouTube thing and see if I can, earn some extra money on the side. I've got business. I'm doing laser engraving. No one wants to come to my shop because everybody's all freaked out. And so what can I do here at home? That was kind of when I started it. And you had already done a couple videos too. And so I honestly, I have to say, man, like, I'm sure I'm not alone. When I shot my first video, I was like, no one's going to watch this. No one cares about this. But like you said, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it.
I mean, what else are you going to do? It's COVID, right?
Yeah. What else am I going to do? I can't, nobody wants to hang out. I'm just going to go in my backyard and shoot myself making some leather patches and spraying spray adhesive on them and showing them that you can remelt it with a hat press and put it on a hat, maybe somebody will think that's cool. And they did. It's really, you want to hear the funniest thing is I actually didn't go back and check on it for almost 9 months.
Yeah.
I literally made it and forgot about it. And
the hat video. Yeah. So that was number 4 right here. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was just me in my backyard, just killing time.
Yep.
And I forgot. Maybe it was 6 months. I just didn't even bother to check the analytics or anything. I was just doing work and just didn't put much stock into it. And then when I went back and checked it, I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
All these people commenting and people really like this and they want to know more,
This video is up to 71,000 views on this one, dude.
By the way, can I just say I think part of it comes from the beard game. Respect, brother.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the
beard game has to be strong.
I had to trim mine down the other day because it was getting too wild, but then I just saw you in the woods walking, and I'm like, that guy knows what he's doing. I trust him.
Yeah. Alex always commented on my beard. He'd be like, you're going to have to deal with this customer. You have the beard. They're not taking me seriously.
All the time.
That's what Alex used to say. He used to say, dude, you need to come talk to this guy up at the desk. He's not taking me seriously. He needs the beard.
Come out with your chest all puffed out.
What's going on out here? You got a problem with my engraving?
I heard you think I fucked up a piece of barn. What about?
Yeah, exactly.
This is giving me PTSD right here, dude.
So this video right here of me just kind of all over the place with random levels, audio levels, and background music that really didn't need to be there, and all this stuff, really kind of inspired me to make more. That one video. Yeah. I was like, okay, this, I can do some cool stuff. Maybe people want to see the weird stuff I think about in the shop, because that's what I do. I'm an applications guy. I want to push these machines to do as many cool things that isn't just engraving or laser cutting. What else can these things do? Because I do really think that they're awesome machines.
Yeah.
And there is so much you can do with them. So I just started sharing some things that I do around the shop and some new things that nobody's really done before. And here we are.
The powder coating with lasers video was really popular in a lot of different places. I'm a moderator in 3 or 4 groups, I think, and they're everywhere. People were like, I saw the video.
Ironically, that's one of
just gonna say that.
2 of his videos that I haven't seen. I haven't seen this one, and
it's
I
really
haven't watched
neat.
The new one yet. Does it work, man? Does it work?
What? Does the powder
coating with lasers?
Yeah,
kinda.
bro.
Kinda.
Why is it kind of?
Kinda.
It works really well. The biggest problem I think that most folks have is they have diode lasers, and all the diode lasers, a lot of them have fans blowing on.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta have no air assist to go on that second pass to melt the powder coating in.
Got it. So, but this doesn't require the the epilogue, right? You don't need the RF tube. You can do this with
this is any CO2 laser. People are doing it with diode lasers too. Yeah. And the other thing they're running into is when the diode laser tries to melt the white powder, it doesn't like it very much.
And then hold on, that went by so fast.
It was pretty cool.
So this is a mess right now. This is a super big mess.
Dude, and it just brushes off with a brush.
That's it? It just brushes out of all those little
it just brushes off with a paintbrush.
Look what I have.
By the way, just while he's doing that, I freaked out when I saw the pile of dust that was left over
from the Monroe laser engraving pass. The data vac.
Yeah, man.
The data vac, dude.
The data vac. I use mine every week, dude.
Yep,
every week,
dude. Me too. I'll data vac it. But yeah, so you're saying just don't you just can't have your air assist needs to be off. Basically, you need to have air not blowing on it because it blows it out.
Air blowing, or you'll blow it out.
The curing, right?
So you're just using the laser here to cook and cure the powder coat. That's nuts, dude. I need to watch
this one. Dude, and it works, and it works brilliantly. And I remember when I first did it, I made see the Ghostbusters. Yeah. See the multi in the.
Oh, that's cool,
dude. That's sick.
Yeah.
See the Ghostbusters multi-layer melting.
Yeah.
So when I did that, I ran upstairs and I looked at my wife and I said, "I've got our next video."
Yeah, sure you did.
Because I was like, screwing around. I was like, I wonder if I can do this because it's a polymer thermoplastic. If I can get the laser just right to just puddle it in there, then I can just sweep off the rest because it doesn't bond to anything.
Yeah.
Right?
So you laser it first, and then you put the powder coat on, and then you laser the powder coat, and then you wipe it off.
Yeah, you just engrave your engraving with enough depth for the powder to go in. You just throw it in there, and then hard card it off.
Yeah.
Push the
for your pucks, Jimmy.
Hit it again at a really low power.
That would be cool, Jimmy. The pucks.
Dude, on the pucks would be cool as shit, dude.
Pucks, yeah. Jimmy just did an episode on engraving hockey pucks with the CO2. That came out like really well.
Yeah, and it had a lot of depth on it too.
I know you guys don't do a lot of that down in Georgia, but it's pretty cool though.
By the way, Tampa Bay, best Lightning. Come on, the Lightning.
Come on. Yeah, dude, that's sick. So I need to check that one out. And then the other one is this 10 reasons why laser engraving businesses will fail. You're definitely the guy to make that video for sure. We've had some close calls over the years.
When you watch that video, Alex, you're gonna feel like you're sitting right next to me because everything I'm talking about is things that you and I went through.
Yeah.
To get to where we are today.
Do you talk about the rose graphics at all?
No.
Do you want to tell that story? Oh no, we don't even talk.
No. We can tell that story.
Anymore.
Yeah. So I've had
tell this story.
I've had some big boy lasers too.
Yeah. Wait, now?
So, yeah, we got a 1500 watt. Was it?
Yeah.
1500 watt laser cutter, full size.
Laser cutter.
Oh, that's
Rakis, I think.
Yeah. Rakis. Chiller. I mean, just
the chiller was like up to your chest. Dude. Nah, I'm exaggerating. It's like a
50-gallon barrel.
Yeah, it's gigantic.
Yeah. Yep. So many lessons learned, man. Many lessons learned.
Yeah,
I didn't do my research on that.
We overspent a little.
We overspent. We didn't realize the consumables involved with owning.
Gas is expensive, and you go through it.
Nitrogen and oxygen
fast
will kill you.
Especially the nitrogen, dude. I thought the oxygen was going to be worse, but that nitrogen, you just blow through it. You so fast, just emptying tanks in like 10 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and my brother bought his 3655, the Boss 3655 that cuts through steel. He bought it right at the beginning of COVID when oxygen tanks went through the roof on price. Wow. And then he basically was like, okay, see ya, and sold that quick.
Yeah. So
it was really fun for Alex, for you and I to get experience using that big boy laser and understanding what it can do. And but man, it was no fun coming up with that bill every month to pay for that machine, knowing that it just wasn't making us money, and it would have, but I just didn't have the bankroll to bankroll it until it was going to start making us money.
I think what we really needed, man, at that time that we couldn't do it at the time. We just couldn't. But I think what we really needed was just another body. I think we needed somebody in there, just doing that. But it was a great learning experience. We learned how to use Sipe Cut, dude. I learned just a couple weeks ago when I was out at the Light Object facility in California. Sipe Cut is like industry standard, so I know how to use laser cutters now. Like everything uses Sipe Cut.
That's dope.
Yeah, so that's super cool that I can say that I know how to use Sipe Cut, and so that's pretty neat. Yeah, man, so many times my Uncrustables, they're just about done. The bags are starting to.
Tell them how what you used to do to fast thaw the Uncrustables.
Okay, so here's the thing: you get these, they have to stay frozen, right? But you can't put them in the microwave because they get wet and hard at the same time. That's gross. So what you do is you take these, dude, and you just put them in your dash in your car. That's it. Fucking 2 minutes, done. Occasionally, when it was cold, I would put them in my pants or behind the vents on my PC, and that was a decent substitute.
That's smart.
But literally, I'd be like, Michael, I'm going to go throw a sandwich out. You want one? He'd be like, yeah. And I'd be like, okay, I got you. And I'd go throw our sandwiches out in the dash of my car, dude. And the sun just
by the way,
cooked them to the perfect temperature.
That should be on the next params update. Perfect Uncrustables. Yeah.
Perfect Uncrustables. Yeah. Totally.
And make sure you get your affiliate link up for Uncrustables on
Uncrustables. Yeah, I'll throw that down in the description.
So far, we've got Coca-Cola, we got Uncrustables. Like, Alex, you're making out tonight, dude. Like, people
yeah,
sending you the swag.
I'm hooked up. I didn't show it off yet, but I do have a super fresh pack of Chips Ahoy as well. Just nice. It has not been opened. It's
need the chewies though. Need the chewy.
I'm like just eating sugar tonight because the shop. I don't know if you guys can see this, but the shop is a disaster. I don't always have all of these lasers at my home studio, Michael. I just went to the shop studio today and I just got all my best lasers and I was like, coming home with me for the winter because the Rochester winter is coming up. Oh, yeah. And I just don't. I drove back and forth over and over again last year trying to I'd be like, oh, I have to make a fucking video and then I have to go shovel the car out of 4 feet of snow. I'm not doing that this year. So I just I stole this room in our house and I just transformed the entire thing into like a winter laser cave.
Quick question for you.
I'm just gonna live here. What
is that? The same table that we talked about the other day, holding up everything?
No.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's right there. I had.
Oh, yeah.
I just got this Ranger from Light Object over here.
Yeah, bro. I saw you put that on the plastic folding table in your video. Don't let me see you do that again.
The plastic is there. It was just for a day. It was just for it's like.
I saw you and I was like, "What is he doing?"
By the way,
don't make me go through that again, please.
Do you know how many times I've seen his daughter walking around through that room, and I was just like, that's going to be like a splatting nugget, right?
It was temporary. Everything is on the really nice. Work Pro wood bench because I tore the whole shop apart and I broke down 3 of those Work Pro solid wood top steel legged work benches.
How'd you get them in the car?
Yeah, I took them apart to put my back seats down.
Wow.
Yeah.
OSHA, by the way, OSHA's coming. They're watching this shit right now.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
Come and get me. So I've got the 60-inch Work Pro workbench has the CO2 Galvo, the UV, the 80-watt fiber, and the 30-watt GPT fiber. And then I got one of the 48s, and one of the 48s is just holding the Ranger by itself. And then I need to get a little card table or something for my diode of the week or whatever. So it's just I just wanted to be. I just didn't want to go back and forth all winter. So shop's a mess right now. Yeah. Good save, bro.
See, Michael, where are you up in Georgia?
Yeah, I'm in the metro, 45, 50 minutes north of Atlanta. So kind of
outside the circle
north of Atlanta.
Yeah, outside the loop. I got you.
Way outside of Atlanta. And since I work from home, I don't commute. I probably like Alex, I don't go anywhere. I'm just deep up in it. When I finally go outside, I'm like.
Yeah, that's definitely me, dude.
Yeah.
Are we gonna see videos more often from Laser 911 now?
So that is something that needs to happen. You're right. It's a weekly conversation around the house. I'm trying really hard to balance.
I know it's hard for you because you don't do YouTube full time. You still run a laser engraving business.
I run a laser engraving business and I have jobs and phone calls ringing. And I'm thinking what I'm going to have to do because the video thing is going well. I'm going to have to carve out a day.
Yeah.
Where the kids are gone for the day. The wife's gone because I get weird filming downstairs or outside when I know that there's people around because at any moment my kids could be like, "Hey, Dad!" right at that perfect shot, and I'll be like, "No."
Yeah.
So
I used to do that. Now I'm just on the podcast and it's what? And I'm like, "Hey guys, I just don't even care anymore." But yeah, dude, I totally get where you're coming from.
I'm gonna have to carve out a day for making videos. I think that's what it's boiled down to. Is just try to work really hard Monday through Thursday. And Friday seems to be a good day to shoot around here.
Yep.
And then just say, turn the phone off.
Yep.
Don't look at my emails because that's another thing. Once I open the email and I see all the potential business.
Turn off notifications.
And I'm just and just get it quiet.
Even
turn the fans off. Get the
every other week. I
think I could do every other week.
Yeah.
I think that's really important. And I know that it should be more. And I hear what you're saying. Alex is giving me the wink, wink, like you need to do every other week. If you want to
I just
be
know how busy
that, you need to do every other
I know how
week.
busy Sonoma Laser Engraving is. So
Well,
I'm just
the other
being
thing
realistic.
too is editing wise. Like I look at Alex's editing, the amount of time it takes to edit shit. Like you could literally film it one week, like you're talking about, and then the next week edit and post.
Editing.
Yeah, that's
And
a good
then
idea.
so that's actually that's a pretty good strategy, I think, because if you did that, that's 26 episodes in a year. That's a solid library.
Yeah, that's solid. Yeah.
Yep.
So I am trying to get a schedule, but it's really going to come down to just shutting it down on one of those days. Because if I don't do that, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's what's been going on. I've been working, fulfilling orders, taking on new jobs,
Which I'm sure is making
and
bank.
if I get a little moment of where it's a lull, then I go, this is it. Get out the cameras, and I've got like 4 different things I want to do lined up.
Yeah. Nice.
So
Sick, dude.
Well, and I think too, just to go back real quick to what Alex said. First of all, like I'd be interested in the videos of the application, literally, like
we don't do that
it's
here.
great that I have all this cool shit, and that's one of the things that we've been talking about. Is like, okay, let me talk about how you can make some money, but I'm kind of small scale because it's just me in my garage.
Sure.
You've actually got a business with the machines that are capable of cranking stuff out. So like, how do you go about that? I would watch that channel in a heartbeat to find out, okay, how do I take this to that?
Yeah.
I do love my favorite part of my business is making cool stuff. It's not production work. It's not, setting up jigs
I
that
love
do
production.
10 pieces at a time. It's when I get to like create something for someone.
Yeah.
They don't know what they want. They have an idea, and I have all these different materials and things, and I love helping them like make that come to reality. So
That's cool.
Those are the ones I remember too, man. Like we just, and I'm saying just, but it was like 3 or 4 months ago. Kyle, I think, was helping me out. We did the guitar neck. Then the guy wanted the acrylic inlay, and that was like one of the first things we ever did on the Mira.
Yeah.
So we were trying to like engrave it just perfect to get the pre-cut piece of acrylic to like fit into the guitar neck.
Yeah.
We pulled it off too.
Yeah.
We pulled it off. It took
A couple cuss words.
3 days.
3 2-hour
Yeah.
live streams.
I
So it took
remember
us about
that.
6 hours, but we did get it, and it was on a new machine we'd never used before that you would think is very impressive. You would like the Mira if you haven't already seen it. It's a sexy little machine. But guys, look, we're coming up on an hour, and I just go sub to Micheal right now. It's Laser Engraving 911 on YouTube. There's already a link in the description. He's got a small library, but it's potent, and the man seems it's potent, and the man seems committed to doing more stuff. And I know what's inside this guy's brain. You don't want to miss it. Also, dude, like maybe, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but like semi-regular appearances on Laser Source. It'd be really nice to have you by, and we could talk shop and get you, get people to kind of pop over and visit you.
Yeah, this has actually been really fun.
It's fun,
really
right?
good. It's really good to see you, Alex. I feel like we haven't talked in a while. I know you've been doing your thing and I've been doing my thing, but it's really good to see you, and it brings back a lot of good memories. All I have with you is mostly 99.9% good memories, except for that one time I think you screwed up a job.
The one time I screwed up a job. I think my worst moment with you, I think, was when I got busted fucking working on home projects at work on the web.
Oh,
I think that was the closest I've come to shitting my pants at a workplace.
Yeah,
and I never did that again.
I kind of went ham on you about that.
That was a bad one, but that was also pre like the real Sonoma Laser Engraving too. We were still figuring things out. We didn't really. That wasn't like real Sonoma Laser time yet. That was probably the worst. And then again, like the other 0.9999999% of the time, we were just fucking around, which was a good time. Maybe even Kyle, we should fly Micheal up for the second season of Lasered, so that he can come up and fuck some shit up, because you always wanted to do that, dude. Laser destroy. Yeah, it was like the oldest idea. We're actually doing it, and it's a lot of fun. So that is something where I just thought about you constantly. It's like, man, Mullins would fucking love this. Like literally, like there's an iPhone on fire in front of me. I'm like, the guy would like be shitting his pants right now. He would think this is the coolest thing. We can talk about it, but I
would like to talk about it, and I would like to talk to you about maybe not using such weak lasers.
Weak lasers?
No. If I'm going to come out, we need to do something special.
By the way, do you have that bigger 100-watt laser?
Yes. Now you will get me.
Are you going to buy the fiber cutter? I'm not buying the fiber cutter.
I'm just saying, let's talk about it.
All right, we'll talk. We'll talk about it. The manufacturers like me, but I don't think they like me that much.
I can already see Kyle literally like messaging
naval ships. You see the ones on the naval ships?
Yeah,
they're like taking out. Can we?
Yeah, totally. That's what this one feels like back here. Kyle's got even a more powerful one than me. That's an 80-watt MOPA, and Kyle's got a fucking 100.
I've got a 100-watt MOPA,
which is just
Death
like
Star.
The Death Star, yeah, it's ridiculous.
I think that's now the name for it.
Yeah, the Death Star.
I think that's just the official name now.
If I'm going to come out, I want to be behind some laser-proof glass, like 100 feet away, with a button, like they do on the other reality shows.
Quick question.
I want to be in that setting where I'm like, okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
If you walked away, was it really a laser 911? Like, you just see him fucking like thumbs up, but it's like bent backwards.
Totally. Yes. Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh, that would be great. But yeah, that would be cool. I would love to destroy some stuff.
By the way, I could literally see Kyle now sending that over to a company like, hey, quick question. We're looking at testing and analyzing one of your 2K watt pieces.
Yeah, with no focal lens, just wide open.
Yeah. Don't worry about
Alex
what we're going to do.
Window.
Yes. Okay, there we go. You're getting closer.
What the actual fuck?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me screenshot this shit. Here you go. There you go.
Yeah. So we'll just have you behind, just,
something like that.
Follow that instantly. Yeah.
Let's figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We'll talk about it after the show. Let's put this down. Like I said, everything's a wreck today. I'm just all over the place. Nothing's put together. Nothing's done. I think that's it, guys. But thank you so much for attending this super special episode of the Laser Source podcast. If you think you're off the hook, man, you're not. I'm gonna keep harassing you, and we're gonna have you back really soon, whether you know it or not. And co-hosts, thank you for spending more time with me today, especially you, Jimmy. You doing all right? You gonna keel over there?
Well, I'm getting really tired.
I see that. I see you kind of starting to.
We're tiring you out.
No, it's that
starting to lean a little bit.
That codeine, whatever the hell that shit is.
Everybody here live, thank you guys for joining us live. And if you're watching the recording, don't forget to smash the like button. Let everybody else know the content is good. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified the next time we upload an episode of the Laser Source podcast. If you want to support the channel and you aren't already, head over to masters.lasereverything.net. Check out the LMA. You get a bunch of fun bonus goodies for signing up, like bonus episodes of the podcast, bonus live streams, and a bunch of other stuff. And it helps support the channel because everything we do here, all of the channel's employees, all of the episodes and content that we put up, it's all viewer supported. We don't do, sponsors and promotions. We don't do any of that kind of stuff. We try to keep it real. We try to keep it objective. The LMA makes that possible. So thank you guys so much. If you're already contributing, if you're not, again, URL is masters.lasereverything.net. And, I don't know. Go pick up some merch. Go check out Michael's channel, Laser Engraving 911. I know he's got some really cool stuff coming out for sure in the future. Yeah. He's the application guy, guys. You're all asking me for application videos. Michael's making them. Go sub right now. You can actually we have a link to Michael's channel down at the bottom of our channel. So just click out of the video, go back to Laser Everything, scroll down to the bottom. It's right there. Laser Engraving 911. You can click it. It'll take you right over. And that's all we've got. Thanks again, Michael. I really appreciate you coming on, man.
Hey, Jimmy, Matt, Kyle, it's great to be on the show.
Pleasure meeting you, sir.
Man,
good to meet you, man. Good to hang out.
And we will see you in the next one. See you guys.
Peace.